We just returned back from diving, doing a little fishing over in the Bahamas. Saw some great corals, a big boulder coral, a really huge brain coral that we have on this ledge. The water was just gin clear. It was beautiful and exciting to be able to get over there before hurricane season really comes down on us, which is gonna happen, I guess, sooner than later. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how these projects come together. There's so much of involved thought in building and creating a 1,000-gallon glass tank and bringing it together as a full-blown reef aquarium in a brand new residence. These things take time. We now have it prepped and ready and covered over the tops. We cleaned up where those glass strips dried up really super nice. You can see how those finish out. Buddy put the blue plastic on it. We secured it with the straps over the top middle so it can't come off the stand. We put some footers on here with some foam so the glass tank can't move. In transit, put some headers down on the ends, and you can imagine that it's structurally all together on this stand. It's even evened up left to right so that when we pick it with the big lull and raise it up to the second floor, that it's all going to come together very smoothly. When we make that delivery, there'll be a big piece of foam here, styrofoam I'll put in place. We'll make the decision on site if we're going to strap it to the lull. There's a high probability we will. But with that comes really the first phase. The structural stand is getting built now. That'll go off to powder coating, I think, next week. And then if we look here carefully at the plans, you get a really big idea of what it takes and where this is going to go and how it's going to lay out on the house. So upstairs, we have this huge 1,000-gallon reef aquarium that's through a wall. This is a hallway behind it. That'll get all framed in. The millwork plans and details of millwork isn't going to be done until the aquarium is on site. And then we'll meet with the millwork contractor to start to lay out how the millwork will operate, how the doors will flip up for access. I would envision 3 separate door panels here. One flip up here with gas operated hinges so that that door flips up and goes 90 degrees so it's out of your way when you're servicing. And then even when you clean on this side of the aquarium or that side of the aquarium in the hallway, you'll be able to move the ladder, do the cleaning with the magnet first, but you'll be able to really move the ladder and have great access into all 3 big portals above the top of the aquarium. I'm going to guess that we're going to have maybe 3 radions on each area. 2 might not be sufficient, but 3 probably going across or back and forth. Either way, it looks like there's 8 on plan. We could easily put 9, it wouldn't hurt anything. And then downstairs, we have a whole room below where we're gonna have this very large poly sump, 255 or 165 gallon water transfer tanks for mixing salt water and having backup water, a chiller elevated. We've already designated electricity on site. We're gonna put a sink downstairs, and then that'll be in its own enclosed space too, which is air conditioned and air conditioned above as well. So it just goes into a tremendous amount of planning. And let's go over to Joe's desk and see how he does that. So Joe was working on the plans. I asked him to pull it up right now and to give you an idea of what's going on. So Joe, how did it come together and why is the plan like that?
When we're looking at any kind of project, it's really important from a coordination standpoint to make sure that everything fits, that our pipes are where they need to be, that our electrical's at the right height and elevation inside of the space, that our aquarium and stand are going to fit within, and as well that all of the different items within the filtration room that we designate or we put in ourselves all end up working in harmony when we get to the installation phase of the project. We don't want to have to change anything at that point. We'd rather get ahead of it. So when I'm building these, I really think about spacing of core drills through slabs. I'm thinking about sizing of pipes and the treatments needed for them. I'm looking at the overflow boxes, where the plumbing's going to go, where we're mounting lights, how high we're mounting them. It even goes down into the types of frames that we have fabricated for these types of aquariums. So I can pull up over here. Let's see, I'll open up the frames and stands version. You can see these frames on the top and bottom of the stands turned into plans. Here's the frames, the specifications behind them, where we have holes, all of the different materials and treatments, mounting areas, things like that. So we really go into a pretty significant amount of detail for the MEP contractors and our team to make sure that when we do show up to remote locations, everything's perfect. We don't have to be adjusting anything last minute. It's all exactly as planned, and that takes visits to locations to speak with these contractors, meetings with them, and then reviewing work and making any adjustments before things like slab are poured or before holes in walls are made. So it's really about doing it right the first time and not having to deal with anything outside of what we need for the aquarium itself. We're still in process for cabinetry on these. Usually that happens a little bit later down the road. Once we have a cabinetry contractor engaged, we can start the communication with them and work in tandem with them based off of how they're designing the cabinetry in the home and how best to accommodate the aquarium within. But realistically, it's about getting the functional pieces exactly where they are. So all of these items that we have here, there's a lot of different types, but they're all modeled to exact specifications based off of manufacturer provided schematics. But it even goes down to things like Ethernet ports on the walls, how many plugs, what voltage, how many amps on the circuits. And when we go into the drawings overall, we're identifying what circuits exactly that we need, how many there are, what the amp breakers need to be, providing different views in order to really come out with a perfect final product that has no compromises during these construction phases.
Joe gave us a great overview of how the project's coming together, how we're communicating with the builder and the architect, electrical, MEP, all the different aspects of the project. And the client really wants his see-through aquarium, which is very similar in size to this aquarium. It's only about 20 inches shorter at 132, and same elevation, 42 tall, it's 42 deep, and it's see-through front to back. So it's going to be a heck of a beautiful aquarium. He wants stony corals, he wants a plethora of fish, and it's going to be a really exciting project to get over to the West Coast. We expect we'll be delivering this aquarium in August. It's just going to be a great delivery. Look forward to that video. So remember to like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next aquarium delivery.